Hello and thank you for joining me today. First, I'd like to give a quick thank you to Cindy Bright from the ScanNCut Facebook group for giving me the SKUTB to record this, my first ever YouTube video. Today I'm using Adobe Illustrator and the Adobe ScanNCut plugin to create these three bottle tags. I've started with a rectangle here to get my basic shape and then fiddled with the dimensions on the right hand side in the properties panel. I don't like the way 90-degree cuts look when they come off my machine, so I always place a small radius on every square and rectangle. To help me place the neck hole exactly where I want it, I start with a square the same diameter as my tag, and then place a circle in the centre of this. I'm going to group these together now, so when I replicate my tag across the page I don't have any unfortunate misalignments. Now the rest of this is just me replicating the tags across the page and fiddling with the placement so they all fit nicely. So I'm going to speed this section up and I'll be back with you in a minute. And now it's time to add some graphics to these tags, and as you will see, this took me quite some time and you really don't want me talking throughout the whole of it, so I'm going to speed this section up again and I'll be back again with you shortly.
I've been hanging on, counting days, thinking it was me all along. Had a million conversations in my head about where it went wrong. And I've got no idea where you've been, who you are, not anymore. All I got is this Polaroid picture of us from June 24th. It's where I kissed you for the first time, laid on your sheets. You gave me your heart and said you trusted with me, but all I did was let you down time and time again. It wasn't my intention, maybe we should have been friends. So, you're someone I used to know, but nobody said it'd be easy. But maybe I should have known. One more drink, just swallow it down. I gotta get you out of my mind, but nobody said it was easy. Maybe I should have known. I've been out till late, shifting beds, trying to kill the image of you. Got a million stupid reasons not to call, it's just that I want to. Do you remember how we pulled the drapes in the basement to get away from the world that we couldn't fit in? And how we used to walk those empty streets at night in the city lights is where I saw you for the last time. Said our goodbyes, sat in the car, you saw the pain in my eyes, but I just couldn't let you down time and time again. It wasn't my intention, maybe we should have been friends. So, you're someone I used to know, but nobody said it'd be easy. But maybe I should have known. One more drink to swallow it down. I gotta get you out of my mind, but nobody said it was easy. But maybe I should have known. Guitar. So, you're someone I used to know, but nobody said it'd be easy. But maybe I should have known. One more drink.
Now this section is really important. The ScanNCut plugin can't recognise A4 landscape, so you have to convert everything into A4 portrait, and this is what I'm doing on the screen right now. As part of my workflow when I'm putting together a project, I organised it into different layers. So I have a print layer, a cut layer and a text layer, which means I can edit any one of these really easily whenever I choose to without damaging or shifting something around accidentally. Now I'm going to add the registration mark so I can send the cut file to the ScanNCut. And if you look at the bottom of the screen where I'm circling, you can see that the cut lines are obscured by the registration marks. It's really important that you don't have anything over the registration marks. And so now is when I start fiddling to get everything aligned on the page so I can send it off to the printer and then the ScanNCut. Now this does take a little while, so I'll come back when I'm ready to send the cut file to the ScanNCut. And it's time to send the print elements off to the printer, and I'm doing that by turning on and turning off the eyes on the top right hand side. And now it's time to send the cut lines off to the ScanNCut, and this is what I'm doing here by turning off the images and the text. Now when I transfer the file across to my ScanNCut, I have to use the transfer over the internet option. It doesn't work on my machine otherwise. Now Adobe will think about it for a few seconds and then you will get 3 dialog boxes. So you just click OK on both of these. And the next screen that appears is the one that says that you've been successful and Adobe has transferred the file to your machine. Now the horizontal bars on your print that you can see here that I'm going to point to in a second or two, it's really important when you put your print on your mat that they're at the top of the ScanNCut mat and go into the machine first. So you can see here the horizontal bars are near the little arrow that points on the ScanNCut mat. Now I'm just going to put some scotch tape over the corners to make sure my cardstock stays in place. It's quite a heavy weight of cardstock that I'm using. It's about 325 GSM and I don't want it to move as it's going through the machine. Now we're at the machine and it's time to retrieve the data, so I'm going to retrieve via the internet. It takes a little while for it to come through to the machine. There's my file and it looks absolutely fine, so I'm going to hit OK. And then it gives you the instructions on how to put the print on the mat and put it through the machine. So I just press OK again and then I tell it to scan the file so I can make sure that the print and the cut lines are aligned. It takes a little while to do this, so just bear with while it's doing its thing. And then it'll show you again on the screen what it looks like. And again, everything looks absolutely fine. So what I'm going to do now is select cut to tell it to cut those lines out for me. And then I'm going to set it off. Now I'm speeding through this section because you really don't need to spend 5 minutes watching my machine cut out the images for me. For some reason my ScanNCut blade doesn't cut the whole way through on this cardstock on the first pass, and I always have to set it off twice. If anybody knows the answer as to what I need to do or how I can fix this, please leave a comment down below. I'd really appreciate it. And here's the final result of my cutting mats, and after they have been scored and folded. Well, thank you for joining me today. If there's anything you've seen during this video you'd like me to go through and explain further, please leave a comment down below.